Hey guys, today's Lost Sector is K1 Communion on the Moon. There's 2 overloads and 3 barriers. Let's do a real quick build review. I'm going to be using Thunder Crash with Thruster. You could use any class ability. Catapult Lift, Seismic Strike. Once again, you could get away with Thunderclap. I'm going to use Storm Grenades. You could also use Pulse Grenades. Moving on to the aspects. Touch of Thunder makes my Storm Grenades track after I throw them, but it would make your Pulse Grenades create Ionic Traces. Knockout heals me when I get a melee kill. Moving on to the fragments. Spark of Feedback. When I get meleeed, I will melee back harder. Spark of Shock. My arc grenades jolt targets, allowing them to stun overloads. Spark of Magnitude makes our grenades last longer. And Spark of Resistance makes us take less damage while we're surrounded. For weapons, I have an auto rifle for the barriers. Salvager Slavo as a workhorse weapon to get lots of my kills. You could use really any grenade launcher. A Leviathan's Breath for the champions and the boss. Moving on to the artifact. The mods I would suggest having are Thunder's Retort. Makes your super deal more damage while you're amplified or critical. Electric Armor gives you damage resistance while amplified. Lightning Strikes twice after throwing a grenade, gain increased grenade recharge time. Shock and All. Arc Final Blows while you're amplified. Summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. Moving on to the armor. We're going to be using a hands-on and an Ashes to Asset since this is a hybrid build, with an Arc Siphon mod to make orbs with this Salvager Slavo. On the gloves, we're going to be having orb generation mods, so firepower and heavy-handed. And on the chest plate, we're going to have emergency reinforcement. Since we're making so many orbs, we should always have 3 stacks of armor charge for the emergency reinforcement, making us extremely tanky when we go critical. We're going to be picking up lots of these orbs with our powerful attraction ability when we use our thruster. On the boots, since we're making so many orbs and collecting them so easily with powerful attraction, we have recuperation, innervation, and absolution to just help get our abilities back faster and keep us safe. The exotic of choice today is Heart of Inmost Light. Alright, moving on to the Lost Sector, there's going to be 1 barrier in this first room. It will spawn once we kill everything in the room. Thanks to the combination of our mod setup, as well as Demolitionist on our grenade launcher. Every one of these orbs that we're creating translates into grenade energy, so we should have our grenade up quite often. Moving on to the second room, once we kill everything, there will be another barrier that spawns. A fair chunk of your time in this Lost Sector is going to be spent in this room. The second barrier just spawned in. You can shoot 2 Leviathan Breaths if you want, but 1 Leviathan's Breath and a grenade is enough to kill it. I like to be a little conservative with my ammo just in case I need an extra shot or 2 for the boss. There will be an overload right up here in this tunnel. If you're going to use 2 shots on anything, I would suggest it being on the overload. There is going to be another overload right in here through this door. Once we kill this overload, we will need to go to the door that the boss spawns in. A shank just spawned there that we need to kill to start the boss fight. Once the Shank dies, we're going to post up here at this boss spawning door and deal as much damage to him as we can before he walks out. We will also kill everything that walks out the door with him because of the explosion from Leviathan's breath. While we could stun lock him in that door, it is safer just to run away as there are ads spawning behind us. As you can see, there was a servitor coming up behind us and a whole bunch of dregs. There's a good chance that they would have killed us there. So once we kill him, there's going to be a servitor that spawns in the door right behind us. But I believe its spawn interaction has to do with killing the enemies over there, so I went and thunder crashed them so that I could force the barrier to spawn in. And once you kill the barrier, that's all there is to it. Happy farming today.